3. Okay.
Hi there, I am Scott VanTuyl with Northeast Technology Center, and this is my workplace safety video for the CTED 4213 class. Here at the front door of the Culinary Arts classroom, we do have our very first fire extinguisher, one of many that we'll come across. This fire extinguisher is not a kitchen class fire extinguisher because it is in the hallway, but as we get in there, the fire extinguishers will turn into Class K fire extinguishers, which we'll talk more about in a minute. See the Culinary Arts classroom here. We'll make our way in. And as we enter, we see right here by the door, we have our emergency procedure guides, which has anything from emergency telephone numbers, evacuation plans for bomb threats and fires and tornadoes and child abuse reporting, runaway, death of a student, endangerment, violence. Maps for all of these things are listed down here as well. If you get further down into the tornado map and stuff of the various areas, then my map for my specific room is listed right up here. And then we have the tornado map of where we need to go during the tornadoes, and then of course the evacuation route for the fire. And as we make our way on into the class, before we move on, we'll talk about our very first electrical shutoff point. This here will shut off the electricity in the whole area. So if there is an electrical fire of any kind, or some kind of a malfunction with a piece of equipment involving safety or otherwise, we can hit these buttons that are located here throughout the facility. Now, as we move on, we'll jump over here and we'll see that we've got some of our OSHA posters hanging up here next to our other fire extinguisher. One of our fire extinguishers over here, this one I believe should be, no, this is actually a regular one as well. This is not a K-class fire extinguisher either. This is for general fires, required by the school. And once again, as we get further on into the commercial kitchen, we'll start seeing the other style of fire extinguishers as well. Of course, the OSHA poster, like I said, is right here. Had a couple of students inquire about it and say that they've seen the poster at work and things. And then down below that we have our ANSEL system. If you're not familiar with an ANSEL system is a fire suppression system that you put under hood vents for commercial gas equipment. It sprays out a foam that covers anything from grease to combustible materials or anything else that may be on fire. And it just kind of coats it all in this gel foamy stuff. That will extinguish the fire. This is really a last resort. I do stress to my students that if someone's going to be pulling an ANSEL system button, that I need to know about it pretty much right away in one form or fashion. If it is a true emergency, then they can pull it and then yell my name. But for the most part, I've never had to pull one in any job I've ever had. I hope I never have to. But they are there. I see them frequently. They are inspected, as are all of our other fire equipment that we have in here. Fire suppression equipment is all inspected yearly. Okay, so moving on into the kitchen here, we come upon one of the biggest safety features of any kitchen is the hand washing station, which you can see we've got a poster up here kind of explaining the dangers of what kind of germs might live in what areas, what things you touch, toilet flush handle, tip of your finger, things like that. Just to kind of get the students used to proper hand washing techniques, and of course the soap and paper towels there, which is required by the health department to be in at all times. Moving on down here, up, I'll give you a close-up shot of our ANSEL system in this room. The button I showed you last time is for my ANSEL system in the classroom. This ANSEL system button we'll get to in a little bit. It's over on the other wall. But you can see these little plungers will pop off and then spray down anything and everything. And it comes out of all of them at the same time, no matter what. So it will literally douse the entire area with the foam. So as we move on here, we have also the switch. We can see we have lights, which is always, lighting is important. It's very important to be able to see what we're doing and making sure everybody stays safe, as well as our fan, which I'll turn on for just a second. You see it's fairly quiet, and it actually has an on button and then an automatic button. So if it gets too hot in here, or if it senses that there is smoke or an open flame, it will actually go ahead and kick on its own, which is a great safety feature that they just recently added to the requirements within building codes. In the past, it's always been just a regular on-off switch. Now it has the automatic system installed as well. So let's move on over here to the snack bar area. As we make our way into the snack bar area, we see a couple of important things. We have our MSDS sheets, which is here, available, of course, for all the students to see, but as well as all the employees. We have 3 employees here in the snack bar, and they need this information, and they need to know the safety stuff just as much as my students do. So it's important that it's in an area for all to share, not just for the students, as well as the safety cutoff switch here. That once again is connected to all the other safety cutoff switches in the entire area and will shut down every piece of equipment in here simultaneously. So we'll make our way up a little bit further in here to the snack bar, and as we travel in here, we can see we do have dangerous equipment here. Everything is, of course, got the ANSI systems above it, and then the full hood system as well. This hood, even though it's a different switch, is still installed with the automatic ventilation, so it will kick on if it senses that it needs to, in addition to being able to turn it on manually. Coming all the way down here, we have another hand washing station, and then we also have another electrical shutoff. And then as we move over here, we come across our first K-class fire extinguisher. You can tell a K-class fire extinguisher, they're almost always silver. And if you read on there, it does say K-class, which K-class stands for kitchen class. It's actually the same as a C-class fire extinguisher with an additional ingredient that somehow enhances its ability to fight a grease fire over a normal C-class fire extinguisher. So as we move on out of here, we'll go back to the main kitchen. And here's the other ANSI pole system for this hood vent that we just saw. And now we'll move on and we'll check out some of the other fire extinguishers in this area. You can see we have a K-class fire extinguisher here. As well as a regular fire extinguisher over here. So we'll walk over here and we'll take a look at our fire extinguisher and our fire blanket. So here we have our fire blanket, which of course all the students, we actually practice at the beginning of the year with this, and to make sure everybody knows where it is. And we actually pull it down, wrap it around someone, and act like they're on fire, just so they can really get an idea about how to snuff it out. Because I don't want them improperly using a fire blanket and making it worse, or not getting the fire to be properly snuffed out with it. And then of course the other fire extinguisher. Once again, this is the non-K-class C-class fire extinguisher that is required all over the school. Not necessarily just for cooking equipment like the silver ones. And then as we turn over here, you'll notice by the door we have a standard fire alarm, as well as another button right here. And this button actually cannot have a cover like the other buttons. One of them has to stay open, and that's usually the one over by the door, which is why we have it here next to the actual good old-fashioned fire alarm that actually will evacuate the whole building, whereas this will just cut the electricity. And one good feature that we have here that is related to safety, but not necessarily workplace safety, is our monitoring system for our temperatures. Of course, being in the kitchen, we have to worry about food safety just as much as we have to worry about kitchen safety. So it's not just keeping my students safe or the staff safe. It's about keeping all the people that eat here safe. And when we do sell our food, and it is a production kitchen, and so we do insist that you know, all the rules are followed with regards to food safety as well. So we have a monitoring system here, and this is connected to our security system, and if it drops outside of the range of a freezer temperature of I believe if it goes over 10 degrees, it'll let us know. So in case we're on spring break or over the summertime and we have food in there, it will keep the food from perishing over the weeks until someone can get back, because we'll get an alert and we'll be able to come take care of the problem. And that is pretty much the kitchen safety here at Northeast Technology Center. As far as some things that I would like to include, that I plan to include at the beginning of next year, are more rubber mats around the water equipment, around the sinks, and around the grease areas, so under the fryers and in front of the stoves. I want to add some rubber mats to help kind of with the traction for the students, and as we do more production, I have found that this would be very helpful in keeping everybody safe. Really, that is pretty much the program in a nutshell. We don't have eye wash stations in here, and we really don't have a lot of the other large equipment that we might see in some of the more T&I programs, some of the bigger T&I programs as well. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video.